at whether Kevin Owens is leaving WWE for AEW. Now, topping the news today is the possibility of another WWE superstar heading for greener pastures. It looks like Kevin Owens could be the latest WWE superstar contemplating a trip to All Elite Wrestling. A recent news story along with some social media teasers from KO has fans thinking the 37-year-old Canadian superstar will join recent additions from WWE such as Adam Cole, Ruby Riott and Daniel Bryan. First, let's look at Owens' WWE contract status. Well, according to Fightful Select, KO's contract was originally scheduled to expire in 2023, but it was restructured during the pandemic, with the contract now expiring in January of 2022. That hasn't been confirmed, but if accurate, it means KO has some big decisions to make. However, two social media messages from KO could be evidence of where he plans on working after his contract expires. The first text, which Owens has deleted, listed coordinates for Mount Rushmore, which wrestling fans noticed was the name of the faction Kevin Owens was in with Adam Cole and the Young Bucks. The second Twitter clue is Owens listed his location as almost there. Adding to the speculation, the Young Bucks added there to their Twitter location. Again, this could be 10% possible or just 90% of the Bucks trolling, because they usually do. But does this ultimately mean Owens is going to AEW, or is he using this as a negotiation ploy with the WWE? Recall Randy Orton hinted at joining AEW before he signed a new deal with the WWF, and given his recent exodus of WWE superstars to AEW, the WWE may be willing to up the ante for Owens just to keep another WWE superstar from leaving. As noted in our Why Vince Fears AEW video, the recent surge of signings is making the company look bad, and Vince may back up the Brinks truck for no other reason than appearance's sake. If so, what will this mean for other superstars whose contracts are set to expire? At the same time, there doesn't appear to be any limit to the number of wrestlers AEW is willing to sign. That may be a problem down the road, but for now AEW seems ready to acquire as many prestige players as possible, and Kevin Owens is just the latest possibility. The WWE's releases and AEW spending spree has some fans speculating that Vince is hoping to bankrupt AEW through the company signing so many high-priced stars. Obviously that's a joke, the Kahn family is actually worth much more than Vince McMahon. Next up, Bray Wyatt in talks with AEW. When it rains, it pours. So it seems to be the case with the WWE as more and more former superstars have signed with AEW or are about to sign. One name that keeps popping up is Wyndham Rotunda, aka former WWE superstar Bray Wyatt. While the wrestling world is still reeling from the WWE's incredible decision to release The Fiend, the WWE's competitors are reportedly itching to sign Wyatt once his 90-day non-compete clause expires, which is ironically close to Halloween. Now Ringside News is reporting, here it is, Bray Wyatt is under his 90-day non-compete clause from WWE, so we can't sign a new deal yet. We can confirm there have been talks between AEW and Wyndham Rotunda. If all goes according to plan, and we're crossing our fingers too, Rotunda will be All Elite. As noted in past news videos, there's also been talk of Impact Wrestling wanting Rotunda in the promotion, which could be a great fit if Braun Strowman heads there, as many believe will happen. However, even if Strowman shows up in Impact, will Rotunda be happy working for a company with a limited audience, and how much can Strowman and Rotunda grow said audience? Do you think Bray Wyatt is AEW bound? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Mick Foley's criticism of WWE draws a major response. A WWE Hall of Famer, Mick Foley is known for his incredible run in the WWE as the Three Faces of Foley, as well as his willingness to share his decades of in-ring experience to provide constructive criticism for both wrestlers and promotions. Foley recently shared a video titled WWE We've Got a Problem, critiquing the WWE. Mick also tweeted praise for AEW, and the internet wrestling community took notice and responded, leading to Foley trending on social media. Let's hear what Foley had to say about the WWE via the video he posted on Facebook, pointing out the WWE's current crisis.
WWE is no longer the place for talent to aspire to. Part of it is because AEW is doing a great job of attracting great talent, proven talent, building other talent, creating storylines, but part of it is a problem of your own making. I think younger talent sees the way that developmental characters are cut or left by the wayside, or in the case of Karrion Kross, greatly watered down and even made a joke of when they debut on the main roster. If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Karrion Kross is just the latest NXT call-up who went from hero to zero in the matter of a few weeks. As some fans might argue his main roster career crashed on takeoff though. Foley seems to feel there's no reason for wrestlers to believe that the WWE is able to make the most of their talent, and Foley went so far as to say,
if I was an aspiring talent now, big league talent with a major decision to make, I'm not sure that I would trust WWE Creative to do the right thing with my career. You guys did wonders with me back in the day, but that was a different time, different place. If it was today, I'm not sure I would trust the powers to be with my career in their hands. And until that changes, WWE, you've got a problem.
Whether it's Raw, NXT, or SmackDown, it's obvious the WWE has an incredible array of talent, but with few exceptions, it's failed to make any new stars lately. The case can also be made that even SmackDown, arguably the WWE's best show in terms of storyline, has fallen into the rut of putting Roman Reigns over everyone, a storyline which is going to burn out soon short of a massive swerve. There's also the problem that while SmackDown doesn't ignore its undercard, it is yet to create any new stars. Foley also tweeted the following at the end of AEW's All Out pay-per-view. Have to give credit where it's due, AEW has assembled an incredible roster and no shortage of compelling storylines. Strong competition brings out the best in everyone. Foley is correct in noting how AEW has built up an incredible lineup, and unlike the WWE, they've created a number of strong storylines on all of its shows and all the way from the lower card workers to the main event. Whether or not AEW can continue doing so with an ever-growing influx of top names remains to be seen though. Foley's comments received a number of responses, resulting in him trending on Twitter, and Foley tweeting, "Look who's trending, I guess my opinion still counts." What do you think of Foley's take on things? Is the WWE doing such a bad job, or is it just the case of the fans and some wrestlers being just too critical? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Pat McAfee blasts Adam Cole. A current SmackDown color commentator and wrestler Adam Cole had a brief but brutal feud on NXT, including a bout on NXT TakeOver 30 and War Games match between Cole and his Undisputed Era teammates against McAfee and his team of Pete Dunne, Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan at 2020's NXT TakeOver War Games. And now that Cole has left the WWE for AEW, what does McAfee think? During an episode of the Pat McAfee Show, the former NFL punter commented, "You know, he's a piece of that guy. I mean, congrats to him and that's a pretty big deal, but F that guy. I can't take this guy. You know, dude, like, he's a terrible scumbag asshole. Can't say it enough. Proved it again last night. Just can't help it. It oozes from his body. You stand too close to him for too long and he's like, when I had to for 20-something minutes, first time, no crown, no big deal. When I went out there, you're worried that the scum is gonna osmosis through." It's likely McAfee, who was a huge wrestling fan, was just keeping kayfabe as far as comments about Cole. Now, Cole's appearance was a big surprise and it's likely going to be talked about by McAfee and many others for quite a while. And finally, X-Pac's shock transformation. Last but not least, Sean Waltman, aka X-Pac, may be 49, but he's proving that age doesn't have to be a factor when it comes to fitness. The two-time Hall of Famer recently posted a picture of himself and it looks like he's ready to get back into the ring. Waltman tweeted, "Getting back in shape, I built a gym here at home so I don't have to leave the house to work out every day." One of Waltman's best friends, Kevin Nash, had this to say about his tweet: "How much do you charge to watch you work out in those briefs?" Not me asking for a friend. Waltman replied, "How do you know I work out in those?" And he also tweeted, "I'll DM you the link to the webcam in my gym." X-Pac is rocking a Braun Strowman look with a shaved head and mountain man beard. There's no wonder whether X-Pac is getting nutritional help from former NWO colleague Hollywood Hulk Hogan though. But there you have it guys, the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.